Hey viewers and viewresses, my name is General Red Strategist and welcome back to Say Being Hunted. So, we're here of course with our mirror mode challenge on this particular island. I've actually already found 2 device pieces for this one. I just need to find the one outstanding piece that I haven't found yet. And I need to get back used to these friggin' reverse controls, otherwise that's going to be a pain in the ass. But, ladies and gentlemen, actually, as when this video goes out, it is now December. It is now the run-up, of course, to Christmas 2024 and all that. So I hope you're all getting in the festive mood and whatever else have you. I was about to say, I know I am. Not quite feeling it just yet, but I'm sure I will in, the next week or two, once we eventually get to a position where we're closing in on sort of the end of the academic term, and I'm sort of thinking, it's going to be time soon for me to head on back up north, to visit friends, visit family, see how everyone's getting on, have a nice relaxing Christmas and whatever else have you. We've already actually explored a lot of these doors, haven't we? Come to think of it, we just need to friggin' keep an eye on where the wisps are going for now, and eat some food whilst we're at it. Now, as usual, we're going to be doing a bit of a podcast style episode as we continue on with the challenge and all that. And the thing is, I actually had something very particular on the mind. So, have I mentioned a channel on YouTube called Saberspark before? I feel like I may have done, briefly. He does a lot of things of just reviews of various, pop culture, animations, media, movies, things like that. And the thing about sort of Saberspark's content is there's always sort of shit, turn that off. Fuck's sake, I could not friggin' pressing the wrong buttons. I could not turn my torch off fast enough there, which was slightly annoying because I was getting the buttons wrong. Ouch. That is a slight issue. Then we go around these rocks and try and lose them. Like so. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button again. What am I doing? Lost track of those bloody... Shit, they still see me. Alright, over here then, ladies and gentlemen. Give them the old loop around. Are they gone yet? I don't think they will be. Oh, he said lost the blighter. Right, if I go round like so, and through this forest. Now, as I was saying, Saberspark, his video content that I've been watching recently. I was actually watching one of his videos quite recently, all about the topic of brain rot, ladies and gentlemen. And actually got me sort of curious about talking about it in a Say Being Hunted episode. And if you've obviously been sort of, on YouTube at all for recent, throughout recent years, you probably already know when I say the word brain rot what I'm actually talking about. So see, the thing about brain rot on YouTube is, well, basically, we should probably start actually with the definition of what brain rot is, what we actually mean by that. Oh, fuck's sake, how did that bring them over as well? Too many robots around here, I must say. But no, we should start really by defining what brain rot content on YouTube actually is. And the thing is, the notion of brain rot is not like a new thing, in all honesty. You go back many, many years. Probably back to, the 1990s. And sort of TV and all that. There's friggin' loads of stuff out there that constitutes brain rot, in all honesty. God damn, there's so many fucking robots here. Why are there so many of them? They're totally going to see me as I get this thing. Get it. Get it. Get it. Right. Just get back into the woods where they can't see me in the grasses and they'll wander off. Right, I'm pretty much invisible here for the moment. But in essence, brain rot, basically what we're talking about. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by all the friggin' hunters who are suddenly hanging around this area. But the general sort of definition of brain rot is basically usually sort of really low effort, kind of garbage tier videos and content here on YouTube, typically aimed at children, typically aimed at child audiences. It's usually very repetitive, it doesn't really demand any sort of real kind of cognitive engagement or kind of just, cognitive capacity to watch. It's basically just brainless, in essence. I guess is kind of the term one would use for that. It's just, and I say sort of low effort as well. That's not to say that sometimes Brainrot content on YouTube doesn't sometimes have a bit of effort put into it. There are some limited examples of stuff that constitutes Brainrot, which does have a sort of certain level of effort put into it, but generally, you know, it's low quality. Usually it'll be things like short animations, YouTube short form videos, sometimes little music videos that are just very repetitive. Earworms, they kind of like get into your ear. They're not, you know, they're low effort in the terms of, you know, even if sort of like the animation maybe is decent, the actual content of the video is not. So you probably know what I mean. If you've seen anything on YouTube that is targeted towards children, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. And, you know, if you've heard the terms Elsagate, things like that, you will also probably know what I'm talking about. Elsagate, if you weren't aware, was a thing a few years back where it was sort of found that lots of content on YouTube Kids in particular was actually just completely inappropriate for children, but it often made use of iconic children's media characters, you know, like Elsa, for example, from Frozen, but just it's like weird sort of either live action videos featuring actual actors or animations just featuring these children's characters just doing things that were wholly inappropriate for a child audience. Basically things like violent acts, sex acts, basically things that, you know, in any other context would get your friggin' videos on YouTube demonetized, or at least community restricted, or whatever. And so there's that whole element to it. And the thing is, God, there's so much Brainrot content out there. And, you know, after seeing that Saberspark content all about Brainrot, the Brainrot issue on YouTube, it actually got me sort of curious to go and actually dabble in it a bit. And now don't worry, I didn't go too far. I didn't want to sort of get sort of too far down that rabbit hole, because obviously for a start it would screw up my friggin' YouTube algorithm, and then YouTube would just be recommending the same old crap to me. But what I may do to sort of illustrate the point is I may put some very short clips in of some of the higher quality Brainrot content that there is on YouTube, just to give you a flavour of what we're talking about here. Like I say, it's basically taking well-known characters from either children's media, or even actually not just children's media, but just popular media in general, for example from the gaming world or the animation world, and just throwing them into these mind-numbingly repetitive things like music videos and animations, which basically they're designed to almost hypnotise children. I mean, two characters in particular who come to mind here from some of the examples I've seen, which I'll probably flash up on the screen around about now, are What's-Her-Face, the wolf girl from Hell of a Boss, is it? That animation? Loona, that's her name, I think. Hell of a Boss is an animation that actually I've thought about recently about, you know, watching, maybe doing reaction videos to it over on Propagandist. And yeah, I noticed Loona seems to be a character who commonly appears in some Brainrot content on YouTube. But not just her, I've also noticed Roxanne Wolf from FNAF Security Breach. She also, or rather I should say, sort of reimaginings of that character, also seem to be commonly seen in a lot of Brainrot content. Garten of Banban characters, Poppy Playtime characters, they also seem to be common, at least from what I've seen. And I think it's because part of the issue with Brainrot content is that a lot of these channels that push it out are part of what you would call content farms, i.e. they're basically making use, taking advantage of the fact that YouTube algorithm seems to find certain characters and franchises and shows very popular, and so as a result, if you have them in video titles or tags or whatever, it increases the chance that the YouTube algorithm will push your content towards audiences. So what these content farm channels tend to do is they basically make lots of short, really low effort videos that basically feature either these characters or shows or franchises in them, but which basically, their titles just are an absolute word salad of all of these characters and franchise names. Also, I've noticed, I think What's-Her-Face from Amazing Digital Circus, Pomni, I think she's another character who you commonly see in these kind of things. And obviously, a lot of these channels are probably not using these franchises or characters legit, i.e., they probably don't have legal permission to be using them. But you know what I mean, basically, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just get the boat even, back to the centre island so we can deposit our device pieces, and that way we have another island cleared. But yeah, as we just do that, yeah. So you probably know exactly what I'm talking about when I use terms like brainrot content and content farms, things like that. It's just real low effort, garbage tier quality content on YouTube, typically aimed at children. And of course, the big sort of concern about that sort of content is just that parents tend to, I think a lot of parents maybe don't fully appreciate how mind-numbing and repetitive that content is. And also, I don't think a lot of parents perhaps appreciate how dangerous and disturbing some of that content is, especially kind of like the Elsagate stuff, where if you just leave YouTube autoplay on and stick an iPad or something in front of your young child and just think, oh, they'll be fine with that. The sort of danger with it is that if you just leave YouTube autoplay on, it will not take the YouTube algorithm very long before it starts showing your child weird content that is probably not suitable for them, and which could basically traumatise, in essence. The thing is, there's a very fantastic, I think it's a TED Talk actually about this, by a guy called James, is his name James Bridle or James Brindle? One or the other. If you search for it on YouTube, you'll find it, where he basically is talking about the dangers of unfiltered YouTube content and how it can affect children's minds, and they almost become addicted to it. And the thing is, like, this is probably storing up lots of problems for the future, just in terms of the attention span of children when they're then in school and they've just been brought up on a diet of constant short form YouTube content that is low tier, low quality, brainrot content, and just the difficulties that's going to create for the education system, the difficulties it's going to create for kids as they grow older and they then find themselves, growing up and having to adapt to the world and think about, what it is they're going to do when they hit adulthood. And it just, yeah, it's fascinating. But the thing is, I feel like I myself have probably seen examples of this in real life, just when I've been out and about, and I've, maybe I've been like queuing up in a shop to pay for something or something like that, and I've seen like a parent with a small child just queuing up as well, and I noticed that the child just literally has an iPad in front of them, something like that, with just real sort of mind-numbing content being repeated on it. Minecraft, I think, is another one, and Roblox, I think, are other ones that a lot of this kind of brainrot content tends to utilise. I'm pretty sure I've seen, for example, Minecraft-themed ones that are very inappropriate, where it basically has the Alex character, the default female Minecraft character, who sometimes, your account will be set to. I'm pretty sure I've seen content featuring that character, for instance, which is probably not appropriate for a child audience. When I was sort of doing a quick kind of search, as part of this sort of research, I guess you could call it, for this video. So there's that. And do you know what was interesting when I was sort of dabbling a bit in some of that kind of brainrot content on YouTube? I made the mistake of going onto the YouTube search bar and typing Roxanne Wolf in there, because, like I say, Roxanne Wolf from FNAF Security Breach, she is one who seems to come up very, very commonly in some of the brainrot content that I've seen. So, out of curiosity, morbid curiosity, shall I say, I searched her name in the YouTube search bar, and oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube centered around that character, and admittedly not all of it is brainrot content. Some of it is just people making funny little like music videos with still images of the character, which sure, you do you and all that. And some of it is animation, people making comical animations that are sort of poking fun at FNAF, which, again, there's a point to that. It's satire, so I wouldn't call that Brainrot content. But as you can imagine, there's also a lot of other weird meme Brainrot content as well with that character. And some of it, I imagine, is being viewed by children, and it's probably not appropriate. So, again, I'll try and flash images up on the screen throughout this video to really just give you a sense of what kind of things I encountered as I was looking. But that kind of leads me to what I'm thinking with this video. Part of me is tempted to give this video a really strange word vomit title that just has a load of names of things that I've talked about here. Not even like a proper coherent title, just a word vomit title that has all of, maybe it has like Loona in it and Roxanne Wolf and friggin' Poppy Playtime, Garten of Banban, stuff like that. And just see, I'm curious, if I do that, what will the view count of this video end up being like? So, because the thing is, I say that because I was thinking about my FNAF Security Breach Let's Play that I did round about Christmas 2023-ish. And you know what is fascinating when you look at the view counts on those videos? I mean, generally they're all fairly good for my channel, but the one video in that playlist that I think has the highest number of views, and it's probably helped by the fact that the character is in the thumbnail and their name is in the video title. It is the 4th episode in that playlist, in that series. It is FNAF Security Breach Episode 4, Roxanne Wolf Has Zero Chill. And yes, so her name is in it, and there is actually an image of the character herself in the thumbnail. And I'm pretty sure of all the videos in my FNAF Security Breach series playlist, that one is the one that has the most views. Last time I checked, I think it had something like 800 or 900 views, which is way high for my channel, whereas everything else in there maybe is sort of averaging probably less than 100 views. So I definitely think there is something to that, the search engine sort of algorithm. I'm curious to put Roxanne Wolf in the title of this video, along with probably a load of other stuff, just as a word vomit title, and then come back later and see how is the view count doing. Does it actually inflate the number of views I'm getting? Does people just randomly land on this video? Yeah, I'm curious. I want to do that experiment, ladies and gentlemen. So if you've looked at this video and you've seen that it has a very word vomit title and you're thinking, what the fuck is that? I'm just going to pause the video because the fucking robots in the background seem to be hunters everywhere this video. Yes, if you saw what appears to be a very word vomit title for this video, that's your explanation, ladies and gentlemen, of what it is. And no, for anyone who's landed on this and is saying that I've clickbaited you, no. You can't say I've clickbaited you, because I've inserted clips of exactly what I'm talking about. So you can't say I've clickbaited you, ladies and gentlemen. No, you can't say that. You came here and you saw what was in the title of the video. So no, it's not clickbait. Alright, I'm going to wrap this video up, ladies and gentlemen, because I think that'll do. Yeah, like I say, I really wanted to just talk briefly about that sort of brain rot content, because it is fascinating for what it is. And it is, I think, a good sort of message and lesson really for parents out there. If you have a young child, heed the warning of James Bridle, or whatever he was called, in that TED Talk. Do not expose your children to YouTube at a young age, or if you do, take a very, very close eye on what it is they're actually watching, and mix in some, educational content, stuff that's not brain rot and all that. Thing is, that's, as I said earlier, brain rot content is something that arguably has always been a thing on YouTube. And in fact, it's arguably always been a thing since TV was mass commercially available. Thing is, pretty sure that Saberspark content that I watched actually did give an example of a Simpsons clip, which basically was poking fun at precisely the idea of brain rot content on TV, for instance, back in the 90s. But the thing is, TV, in contrast to YouTube, often always has certain rules and regulations there has to be some educational content. There has to be a certain level of quality in a lot of stuff. But YouTube, of course, is a bit of a Wild West in comparison, which is, you know, where the problem maybe feels really exacerbated. The problem feels particularly challenging and all that. So yeah, I think I'll probably wrap up there, ladies and gentlemen, on that particular thought. So, hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble on about Brainrot content on YouTube for a little while. So, you know, feel free to just comment below. You know, I'm sure there are people out there watching this who've had their experience of Brainrot content. You know, have you sort of seen the kind of negative impacts that it has? Have you been exposed to it? What kind of weird-ass content have you come across since the Elsagate days or whatever here on YouTube? Let me know. I'd be fascinated to hear. So yeah, other than that, my social media links, propagandist channel link, etc., etc., are down in the video description for anyone interested. If you enjoyed, a like is of course always appreciated. But other than that, I'm going to sign off now, hoping to record a bit more Sir content very soon, because obviously it being December, I'm going to need to start pre-recording and just, you know, block recording a load of stuff just to keep the channel going, because obviously you know, there's going to come a point in December where I'm going to be away from my computer, visiting friends and family, and I'm going to need to have a load of pre-recorded content ready to go on the channel. Other than that, yeah, I'll sign off now. Goodbye, everybody. Right, so where else can we go? Empty bottle. It's an empty bottle, I'm assuming. Let's take the wire cutters then to this fence off area. Let's see if maybe we can use them on that. God, I just heard the music coming in. I heard the footsteps right behind me. What the fuck? Jesus. What's your problem, bro? God, it's still right behind me. Oh my lord. What is your fucking deal? Where do you even come from? Okay, no one dribbled to me to just go. Yes, he's still coming. Oh my god, he's still coming. Oh god, he's still coming. Jesus, where am I going? Where do you want me to go? What do you want me to do here, game? Do you have to throw him off the set? Is he gone?